2015 Midwest Brouhaha. I am Val Capone, and I am joined on this fabulous Hinckley Productions Boutcast by one of my dearest friends in all of flat track roller derby, Miss Alligator.
I'm Alligator.
I don't know if you just saw her. She just kicked all sorts of booty all over the track. She decided I'm going to kick all sort of booty all over the mic because it's the best seat in the house for the matchup we're about to see.
It is.
The Ohio RollerGirls are going to be taking on the Minnesota RollerGirls.
Ooh.
I feel like this is going to be a very exciting game for us. These, as we mentioned on the last broadcast, these are two of the founding members of the WFTDA. Two of the most seasoned teams. They have been with us for a very long time. Both teams have had a lot of experience under their belt. They both also have had a lot of roster changes over the seasons. But I'm looking here, and I see this Aqua and Army of the Minnesota RollerGirls, and they are still a very strong and solid team, as are the white and green from Ohio. So I'm going to just give you a real quick rundown of the Minnesota RollerGirls. We got number 16, Ida Shocker, number 172, Shiva Shankin, and we'll get back to the rest of the roster for you in just a moment. We have 667, that is Shiver Me Kimber. She is jamming first for the Minnesota RollerGirls.
And she is going up against the Smacktivist from Ohio. Beautiful hit to the inside there from secondhand smoke and dragging Smacktivist all the way back to the back of the pack there. Shiva back in the pack on her scoring pass, and Mac out on her initial. Smacktivist coming back up, but that is called off by Minnesota before Mac is able to score any points. Some lovely face paint from Shiva there today. She always represents well with that. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, Shiver Me Kimbers is rocking some serious Aqua and Army face paint.
Sorry about that. That was Shiver Me Kimbers, not Shiva Shankin.
No worries. We are going to start the game out with a 0-0 score. We have number 2, that is Fanny Tanner, will be jamming for the ladies in Army and Aqua. Out there on the floor with her is going to be the Captain Diamond Ruff, Mad Rad, Scarman Electra, and Gertrude Stein.
Yeah, and she's going to be going up against Kitty Lickerbottom from Ohio. We got the no pack call there, and Fanny is able to get out on lead jammer.
So that's going to be 2 for 2 in lead jammer status for the Minnesota RollerGirls. Fanny is already back at the back of the pack alley, trying to force her way past ICU2. That is Enna Flash. She does get out and around 5 points. That's a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Fanny Tanner.
And Kitty Lickerbottom, if you notice there, took off the star, took a little star stash action to get through the pack on her initial pass.
Yeah, that's definitely the big trend of this season is the star stash. You know, that's one of the great things about women's flat track roller derby, period, is that there's so many ways to reinvent the sport and help it to grow and flourish. And, you know, for people that are like, enough already with the rules changes, I don't know if you know, but there's still rules changes being made in basketball, baseball, football, hockey. And we have a timeout, I believe, is being called.
And that is...
Nope, that is an official review. I do apologize.
And that official review is going to be brought to you by Classic Slice Pizza. It is your friendly neighborhood roller girl-owned pizzeria, serving up huge slices, salads, and desserts and apps made from scratch, specializing in vegetarian and vegan items and the best gluten-free crusts in the city. Classic Slice Pizza has been a proud Brew City sponsor from the very beginning. Stop in this weekend and grab a slice or a $2 tall boy. Classic Slice is in the Bayview area and open until midnight.
Now, that was actually not an official review. Both of us were mistaken. Sorry about that, but it is an OTO. That's an official timeout, so we're going to try to wait and see what happens. They did have to update the scoreboard, it looks like. It was 0-0 for quite a while, and so there was a scoreboard malfunction. There's a lot of moving parts of roller derby. We've got to make sure they all get communicated. Going to wait and see if that scoreboard needs to be further updated.
Number 10, talking to someone in the pack. Nice, fun times. So the last time these two teams met was back in 2003. Minnesota came out with the win 340 to 102. So interesting. It's been a while since they've seen each other. A lot of changes, even from last year, but definitely a lot of changes from the last 2 years. Smacktivist back on the line. That notorious RED penalty, or excuse me, jammer line.
I know, we're so used to...
oh, Tara, come on.
Tara, getting things stinky on the track, cleaning them up. But, yeah, she is facing off against Jacked Pipes. That's number 3. Jacked Pipes forced to the infield. Jacked Pipes trying to get around Avatar, and she does, but there's one blocker left at the top of the pack. It is the pivot.
Jack Pipes, new to the Minnesota RollerGirls travel team this season. Very standout player.
Yeah, she's been killing it, though. She's definitely not new to getting lead jammer status. That she does have. She is back in the pack. Smacktivist out of the pack. 5 points picked up by the Minnesota RollerGirls. Jack Pipes. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam, Allie.
That it is. Bruce Skate Noose is the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. They have over 50 colors and patterns to fit your team, your league, or your personality. If it isn't enough, contact them for customization options. You spend a lot of money on those skates, so don't shove them in a bag full of sweaty gear.
Ugh.
Your skates hate that.
Why would you do that?
I know. Check them out at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or online at bruisedsn.com.
All right, so we have Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker. That's number 19 in white and green for the ladies from Columbus, Ohio.
And Aqua and Army, that is Fanny Tanner. She is going to be wearing the star back on in the notorious RED jam line.
Great job by 1101. That's Jessie Fox. Held up Fanny Tanner for quite a while, but Fanny Tanner does sneak up the inside, gets lead jammer for the 4th jam in a row for Minnesota RollerGirls All-Stars.
And Ohio jammer about 20 feet, 30 feet back behind her.
Pack moving at a steady pace, not too fast, not too slow, kind of just how some of the girls like to play derby these days. 0-0 jam right there, my friend. If you do hear any whistles, guess what? There's so much roller derby going on right now. We have 2 full-time tracks. The Puget Sound Outcasts are facing off against the St. Louis Gatekeepers over on Derby Laces track 1. So if you do hear whistles and you're wondering why the action hasn't stopped, that is why. It's 2 full tracks of flat track roller derby action at all times.
Never not skating here.
Never not skating. I'm pretty sure that's a Slayer song on Slayer Day, by the way, International Slayer Day. That was the first jam that we had without a Grand Slam, so nice job by Ohio RollerGirls slowing things down a bit. We're going to get a track cut that's going to be assessed to the Smacktivist. The Smacktivist will be spending up to 30 seconds in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino's penalty box.
And that track cut is courtesy of Secondhand Smoke.
You got to love it when you draw one of those penalties out of your opposition. It is very frustrating when it happens to you, but you got to applaud smart derby.
That's true. Lovely. Ooh, nice hit out. But unfortunately, she is getting dragged all the way back.
Yeah, Shiver Me Kimbers kind of recycled herself. Not really sure why that happened because Amy Spears also went out as well. Amy Spears and Shiver Me Kimbers just playing it clean and legal, going back the entire way behind the pack.
No need to commit penalties that you don't need to. You know, it's a good policy.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Smacktivist back out on the track.
Battling against that Aqua and Army defense. Hard hits up there. And Mac getting driven back to the infield and pulled back. Smoke looking for the track cut penalty, but not called.
Wasn't there. You got to remember the inside of the track is a different distance than the outside of the track. So if you think maybe she cut you, maybe another skater cut you, maybe they cut you, not necessarily the case always. So we're going to see how Smacktivist fared on that last pass. 0 points for Smack.
And that's going to be 4 points on that last pass for Minnesota.
So the scoreboard sits at 0 for Ohio RollerGirls out of Columbus, Ohio. 31 on the board for the ladies hailing from the Twin Cities of Minnesota.
Our friends at Sakatumi sell fun, funky socks. Socks with tacos, cupcakes, ninjas, mustachios, unicorns, and other things magical. Over 200 different sock designs. There's something for every personality, from punk rock to peacock and everything in between. They are also one of our proud sponsors here of our Power Jams.
True story. And, you know, they have some of the greatest socks ever. Tournaments are long, and there's nothing you want more than to have your feet be comfortable, especially when you're on the clock all day long. Wearing comfortable socks is crucial. I'm sure you can vouch for this as a skater, commentator. You spend a lot of time running around this venue, girl. I'm currently wearing myself some Sakatumi Ninja socks.
Ooh,
yep. I had to go with my red and black Slayer Day outfit. I went with some red and black Ninja socks.
Good choice.
We have an official timeout right now. We're going to wait and see what the update is. The scoreboard currently stands at 0 for Ohio, 30 for Minnesota. We have 23 minutes and 57 seconds left to play, but we're going to get things underway. I'm pretty sure that they probably just wanted to follow up on penalties, make sure all the penalties were assessed correctly. We do have a lead jammer already.
That is Jack Pipes for Minnesota and the Aqua and Army. Diamond Ruff dragging back the jammer from Ohio. and recycling. Minnesota doing a great job of that brace defense, kind of that circle rotating. Something that they have been talking about working on and definitely paying off. And that is going to be a forearm penalty assessed to Jack Pipes of Minnesota. So this is going to be a Sakatumi power jam in favor of Ohio. Definitely something they need, picking up some points. They're still sitting at 30-0. Multiplayer block being assessed to Captain Diamond Ruff of Minnesota.
Laura out of my way, man. She gets knocked to the outside. She's dragged back, but she's dragged back to where her teammates are set up and ready to go, kind of bash up that defense set up by the ladies from Minnesota. Laura out of my way, man, has one blocker left at the top of the pack. She does get past.
And that is her initial pass.
No lead jammer. This is going to be a full 2-minute jam.
Both jammers back on the track. Jack Pipes out of that Potawatomi Casino and Hotel penalty box.
Jacked Up has 3 blockers in front of her, but they are in a tight flying V-esque formation. Jacked Up is patient, awaits, and does a bit of a pirouette around. She does get out. That is going to be a 5-point RollerGirls Skates Grand Slam. Laura out of my way, man, taking a giant hit from 172. That's Shiva Shankin.
And unfortunately, Minnesota blocker is going to pick up a misconduct for hitting a down skater. It's going to send her to the Potawatomi.
Yeah, that's number 5 right there. That's Yekaterina Lipitsky.
Rough times.
But, you know, it does happen when the action gets that chaotic. Sometimes weird stuff happens. That's all I'm saying.
And especially if you fall down right in the middle of that pack, people are kind of shifting forwards and backwards slightly. It's hard to tell what's going on sometimes. And it's unfortunate. No one does it on purpose.
And now the folks in Columbus, Ohio are thrilled to see that goose egg get cracked. 4 points on the board for Ohio, 39 for Minnesota.
Very nice. Rydell Skates, one of our lovely sponsors here at the Midwest Brouhaha 2015. Rydell Skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. Check them out at rydellskates.com. And lining up on that notorious RED jammer line, we have the Smacktivist for Ohio. Looks like we have an official timeout that was called by the Ohio bench.
Well, it actually looks like they're going to be taking their official review. Their official review is going to be charged to the bench of the Ohio RollerGirls. We'll try to see if we can't get you some updates in just a few moments. But I'm looking towards the Ohio bench. I can also see that there are 3 Minnesota RollerGirls very close to the Ohio RollerGirls bench. That means that they are in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. The captain, Diamond Ruff, the pivot, Yekaterina Lipitsky, and the jammer, Jack Pipes, are all sitting in the box. You'll notice that Jack Pipes has taken her helmet cover off. She's holding it in her hand, just trying to perhaps give the element of surprise to her opposition as she gets back on the track. Very sneaky, these jammers.
We've seen that a couple of times over the course of this weekend where the jammer's taking it off, coming out of the penalty box, trying to just start out with that stash. In case the opposing blockers not quite aware of who the jammer is. Sneaky. I like it.
Trying to take a peek at that scoreboard in the center of the track. Hopefully we can see what that last penalty was, because we do know that Jacked Up went to the box initially, or Jack Pipes went to the box initially on a forearm. When she came out, we did have that a return to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino box for her. So again, we're going to try to wait and see what happens. The official review is going on.
And it looks like that has been communicated to the captains and alts from each team. We are getting lined up, and again, Smacktivist taking the notorious RED jammer line, the only jammer on the track, so starting out in a Sakatumi power jam. Minnesota only 2 blockers on the pack, but those 2 blockers, that is going to be Samson and Secondhand Smoke. 2 of the fiercest blockers in Minnesota.
The Smacktivist has some great footwork rotating around those 2 blockers. Gets out and is declared lead jammer for the Ohio RollerGirls.
Smacktivist back in spin around the inside, and that is going to be a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Unfortunately, they are picking up a forearm around that with that spin. going to send them to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. So a change of fates here as Minnesota now in favor of that Socket to Me Power Jam. Jax pipes out of the penalty box, out on her initial pass, and now on her first scoring pass.
Now, I did get an update as to what that official review was regarding. The Ohio RollerGirls used their review to say that there was a back block that was missed by the Minnesota RollerGirls upon the Ohio RollerGirls. No call. No call there, and the no call stands.
And then they lose their official review for this half.
Which is a bummer because it's actually quite early in the game. Yeah. It's only 7 jams into the first half. That's a pretty big risk. Unless you see a pair of eyes on what your pair of eyes are seeing, you might not want to take that gamble.
Yeah,
especially when you take that long as soon as the game gets underway again and your jammer ends up in the penalty box.
And that is going to be a forearm called on the Ohio blocker, 1098. That is Amy Spears.
Smacktivist is back out on the track. Smack is trying to get past that wall of green, Army and Aqua right in front of Smack.
Jacked Pipes battling up at front, but they are getting the out of play call. Someone's going to be assessed a penalty. There's a high block. There is an out of play being assessed. We have some people going to that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Jacked Pipes picking up 5 points. That is a Rydell Skates grand slam on that last pass.
Ooh. Beautiful little spin move on one, skate around on turn 1, picking up 4 more points on that last pass. That brings our score to Minnesota RollerGirls 53, Ohio RollerGirls tick, 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 tick. That is 7. And just under 20 minutes left to go in this first half of gameplay. Lining up on the notorious RED jammer line, we have Fanny Tanner in the Aqua and Army. Number 2, that is Valhalla in the white with green accents for Ohio.
Yeah, Valhalla jamming for the first time this afternoon, at least in this game, against the Minnesota RollerGirls. Minnesota RollerGirls have a nice, strong circle. They're interlocking their arms, very strong and forceful. They're dropping down those arms so as not to risk the multiplayer block, which is where that gets really, really tricky when people get handsy. Yeah. Fanny Tanner fighting up at the top of the pack against those 2 blockers. She spins out of it. She is going to be declared lead jammer.
And that's actually going to be her first scoring pass. That is going to be a 5-point Rydell Skate grand slam.
Now, that is her first scoring pass. She just got her second one passing through. That is also her second time being lead jammer. That's her third time. She's 3 for 3 as far as lead jammer status is concerned.
And that is going to be a star pass from the jammer to the pivot of Ohio. That is being handed off to Texas Chainsaw Sess Kicker, who is now the active jammer and has just made a pass and picked up 4 points for the Ohio RollerGirls. So that is ticking up Ohio's score, and now sitting at 11, Minnesota or MNRG at 67.
17 minutes and 53 seconds left to go. We have the Smacktivist is lined up on the notorious RED jam line. She's ready to facing off against Shiva Shenkin. I'm sorry, that's Shiver Me Kimbers. Now I got Shiva on the brain.
I know. I did the same thing earlier. Rough times. Minnesota still down 1 blocker, sitting in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. And Mac around the outside, beautiful footwork. Yes. She is out. They are out first, lead jam status.
Yeah, Smack did a great job of fighting their way through the pack, but now they're back again to face off against that giant O formation of Minnesota RollerGirls. Smack forced into the infield. Nice recycling hits. Whoa, that's going to be, I believe... No, it wasn't called. Nothing there, so I can't even talk about it.
It's true. Ooh, little hop, skip, and a jump at the very end there. Ooh. And unfortunately, Minnesota not picking up that 4th whistle already.
Now, Smacktivist did get through and got declared lead jammer. Smack was the first lead jam of the period for Ohio RollerGirls.
So jam 8, first one for them. Picking up a little bit of steam. Trying to figure out Minnesota. Trying to figure out what kind of working against that circle. Very, very intimidating defense. Lining up on the Notorious RED jam line, we have number 16, Ida Soccer. I believe first time.
That is Ida's first time jamming in this game. And, you know, it's funny. That was a long time that they just stood there at the Notorious RED jam line. I caught a case of the Gators.
Yeah.
Quite a few seconds before the pack even moved, but a back block will be called upon Ida Soccer, so she'll be going to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
And courtesy of Soccer, that is going to be a Sakatumi power jam in favor of Ohio.
I'm pretty sure that they planned that.
Nah,
just kidding. It just sorts out that way when somebody named Soccer has a Sakatumi power jam against them. Now we're going to have a Sakatumi power jam in the favor of Minnesota as soon as Soccer gets out of the box, because we had a track cut from number 19.
And that's going to make this a 2-minute jam all the way, as the lead jam status is not retained once you go to the penalty box. So just under a minute left for this jam. Full strength on both packs on the track. Some offense on the outside line. Ooh, big forearm coming in. That is going to send Ida Soccer back to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Now, actually, that's going to be Gertrude Stein. There was so much chaos and so much action right there. There was a star pass to Gertrude Stein. It was completed, but she's going to the penalty box regardless.
And around the outside, Sass Kicker picking up 4 points. Chainsaw back in, but driven to the inside there by number 16. That is Ida Soccer, the original jammer, but now just a blocker.
Just a blocker. Just noticing that 5 points picked up by Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker.
That's a fun one.
That is a fun one. It's also fun to say Rydell Skates Grand Slam right there for Sass. Ohio is slowly but surely closing this gap. 25 on the board for Ohio RollerGirls, 69 for Minnesota RollerGirls, 14-12 left in the first period.
That is jammer in white for Ohio, Laura Wayman, taking the Notorious RED jam line, going against number 2. That is Fanny Tanner. And unfortunately, taking a little spill over there with Amy Spears on the outside. And a track cut being called on the Ohio jammer. She's going to spend some time in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, and this is going to make it a Sakatumi power jam in favor of Minnesota. They also have lead jammer status.
That is the second time in a row that a jammer from Ohio has gone to the penalty box. Not just that, but the penalty box for a track cut. So Ohio is going to have to really be aware of their footwork, because they had a nice momentum building, but when you have 2 back-to-back jams with your jammers in the box, it's kind of tricky to keep that momentum alive.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Minnesota definitely great defense, taking them all the way to the line. They have some really great jammers with great footwork on Ohio, but unfortunately, if that line isn't open even a little bit, you're going to get those track cuts. Ooh, little
You're just kind of asking for trouble taking that risk. You don't want to take that gamble and end up in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino's penalty box.
No, unfortunately, direction of gameplay being assessed to Ohio blocker.
Yeah, that's Anna Flash. I see you too if you're scoring along at home.
And that is a 5-point grand slam, a Rydell Skates grand slam in favor of Ohio. Smacktivist doing D up front.
Laura, out of my way, man, tried to hop that apex, but she got clipped. Nice saving herself, though. She didn't try to continue it. She recycled herself behind the pack.
Unfortunately, that hit at the front of the pack on that last pass is going to get the Smacktivist a out-of-play penalty, sending her to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. And Ohio now down to 2 blockers on the track.
Fanny Tanner picking up 4 points as she navigated the pack cleanly.
And that jam being called Ohio RollerGirls 30, Minnesota 78.
We have an official timeout right now. We just want to say thank you so much to all our sponsors, but especially those that keep us healthy and strong. Much like ATI Physical Therapy, when injury strikes, you do have a choice. Choose ATI Physical Therapy, the official sports medicine provider for your Brew City Bruisers. To experience the difference, visit ATIPT.com or stop into one of their over 19 Milwaukee area clinics for a complimentary screening. All right, now we're switching up the game a bit here for Ohio Roller Girls. They're going to try a few other skaters at that Jammer Star. We have Big Rig. It's her first time jamming in this game. She's not new to jamming, but she is not jammed yet today in this game.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you have a large skater turnover. The people that sometimes were jammers in one season don't always stay jammers. There's a lot of mix-up with that, and, people have different strengths, so you're seeing Smacktivist playing in both roles in the pack and
well, yeah,
jamming.
because, especially when they're as talented as the Smacktivist is, she, a very versatile skater is going to be wanted by any team out there.
Yeah.
And so when they're out there wearing the Jam Star, or they're out there wearing the pivot stripe, or just wearing the helmet cover, Smacktivist is doing a great job out on the track.
Yeah.
But with that, when you do skate a lot as a Smacktivist, sometimes the penalties start adding up, and they've already got 3 penalties. We're only, a little over halfway through the first half, and they've already stacked up 3 penalties so far.
Yeah, Ohio definitely picking up some penalties. They have, Smacktivist is sitting at 3. That's the most there. Minnesota, I think the most on any skaters too, but they do have quite a few.
You just said Minnesota.
I did say Minnesota.
I just wanted to share that with
from
you.
The Midwest.
No penalty on you, though. No passing penalty. I'm from the Midwest too, but come on. Oh, wait, there's my Chicago accent. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun here at the Midwest Brouhaha 2015. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again, as always, to Hinckley Productions, one of the best crews in all of Derby. I applaud you. All 3 of us here in the booth are applauding you. We will give you more props later. Hinckley, high fives for all of you. We have a jam underway. That's number 3, Jacked Pipes, wearing the Jam Star once again, and Big Rig is her opposition. Jack Pipe's already out picking up lead jammer for the Minnesota Roller Girls. Smacktivist back out on the track.
Big Rig getting driven to the outside by Minnesota's defense. That is going to be 8 and 40. That's Samson.
Smoka, Hannes, and Samson are a great, deadly combination out on that track together. Excellent teamwork and communication. They're like skating in tandem as though it's synchronized. Jack Pipe's trying to fight her way through that top green wall, helmed by the Smacktivist, Laura Out of My Way Man. They're both trying to slow it down. Smacktivist takes a bit of a tumble, has to let her go. 5 points awarded to Minnesota. That is another Rydell Skates Grand Slam, Allie.
It is, and Jack Pipe's already around. Star pass over to the Smacktivist, and Smacktivist in the pack still, and there is a whistle. Looks like a forearm being assessed to possibly the original jammer. So that was an unsuccessful star pass. Smacktivist smartly throwing that.
Yeah, I was just going to say that about them. Smacktivist very smart in the maneuvering of how Smacktivist decided to treat the helmet cover. The forearm was assessed before the star pass was completed. You don't want to risk an illegal procedure penalty to the jammer as well. So nice move by Smacktivist. Again, one of the smartest skaters on the track.
Yeah. Minnesota, though, just devastating defense on the track at the moment, and offense to hold back and create this lovely opening for their jammer, Jack Pipes. Another 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam, taking advantage of the Socket Toomey Power Jam. Back on the track, the Ohio Jammer, the original jammer again. That is Big Rig. And Ohio now changing it up, and they're the ones dropping back the jammer. A great defense on both sides of that, taking advantage, and it looks like the Ohio bench taking a little step to the infield, chatting with the referees. I don't think we'll see if it turns into an official review, but they're just going to chitty-chat. Actually, they can't do an official review because they already had it.
Yeah,
they lost it.
They went through and they've already used their official review. And so, that's why you got to be really careful about your timing on it and what you do when you decide to call it, because that was so early on in the period.
Unfortunately, you can go in and talk to the refs as much as you want, but...
Well, to a certain extent. A lot of officiating crews... you have technically 30 seconds. Shiver Me Kimbers is out there wearing the Jam Star for Minnesota Roller Girls, but she is going to be going to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino's penalty box with a back block Most officiating crews will allow you to come into the infield and discuss things politely and concisely.
With respect.
However, there are a few head refs that would prefer that you not talk to anyone except for them, which is, I think, a great rule of thumb to follow, you know. So that's why that official review does come in handy if you actually do want to speak about something at length to the entire crew.
Minnesota doing a great job of killing this Sakatumi power jam in favor of Ohio. Really great defense from all four of them out there. Diamond Rough, 196. That is going to be Mad Rad, Scarman Electra, and Katarina Lipinski. We got a star pass on the side of Ohio being handed off to Laura Wayman.
Laura out of my Wayman, and started out with Sass Kicker, Texas Sass Kicker as the jammer. Passed it off to number 10 in white. She now has a star visible, but look who's right behind her, Allie. I mean right behind her.
Yeah, she's sneaking up. That's an out-of-play penalty called on Anna Flash. Kimber's back in, holding on to that line around the outside. And that Shiver Me Kimber's beautiful 4-point pass for Minnesota. Jammer for Ohio. Drop back again and holding on with that Minnesota defense up front. Her own player trying to open up that inside line, does not see Kimbers around that inside. That is a 5-point Rydell Skates grand slam in favor of Minnesota. And that jam comes to an end. Our score sitting at Ohio 35, Minnesota 102. Just around 6.5 minutes left to go in this first half of gameplay.
Ohio RollerGirls has called a team timeout.
And that is going to be brought to you by our friends at Field 59 Video Platform. They are powering the live streaming technology behind the 2014 Roller Derby World Cup in Dallas, and now they are powering the live stream here for the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. Power jam your derby bouts with Field 59's video solutions. So this team timeout, they're going to probably be catching their breath, getting a little scrambled with those power jams and penalties on both sides. But unfortunately, Ohio not able to take advantage of the power jams that they have had in their favor. And Minnesota doing a great job of really holding down those opposing jammers and creating power jams of their own.
Now, the next game that we have coming up on this track at 5:45, just so you could set your derby swatches. BCB Battlestars, that's the B team for the Brew City Bruisers, the hostesses with the mostesses of the Midwest Brouhaha 2015. They will be taking on the Detroit Derby Girls B team.
And we are lined up against Smacktivist on the notorious RED jam line. The jam is on, gently stepping through her own pack.
Gently.
And she's up against Fanny Tanner for MNRG. Both jammers getting scrummed back in there.
You know, Polly Punchkin is having a great weekend so far. She did a lot of nice hits onto Smacktivist to slow Smacktivist down, but eventually Smacktivist did get out of the pack. They picked up lead jammer for the Ohio RollerGirls.
Very much needed, having control of that jam, and they are through on a 5-point Rydell Skates grand slam.
That's a star pass that's happening right there.
That is handed off to secondhand smoke, number 9 for MNRG, and we have a forearm penalty being assessed to secondhand smoke.
Wow, and so Smacktivist is saying, let's go, let's go. I don't want to try to call the jam on this. I want to try to run this out. So now Ohio is wisely slowing the pack to a crawl, and not only that, but in the turn, so it kind of widens the track out to help Smacktivist push themselves out of play if possible.
Yeah, if you want an easier pass, definitely the turn is where you want to try that, but an easy pass is not
It's
easy.
not going to happen when you have Samson and Polly Punchkin, a great new addition to the Minnesota RollerGirls. I don't know how recently she joined them, but I'm a big fan of hers after this weekend. I'm going to have to stalk her out on the internet and find out her history for sure.
It's true. I heard her name quite a few times against in that Gotham versus Minnesota game last night.
Oh, Smacktivist tried to stay clean and legal, but Smack is going to be assessed with a track cut. They almost went into the splits right there, but still got the cut anyway. So Smack headed on over to the Potawatomi hotel and casino penalty box for a track cut.
And back on the track, that is Fanny Tanner, jammer for Minnesota. Now that Sakatumi Power Jam in favor of her. She's coming back around. That was only her initial pass. So now this is her first scoring pass. A little tumble there. And whistle, whistle, whistles. That is going to be the end of that 2-minute jam.
That was a long 2 minutes, a lot of chaos, a lot of in and out of the penalty box. But we have 4 minutes and 23 seconds left. 50 on the board for Ohio, 106 for Minnesota.
Our friends at Derby Laces, oh, they are so fantastic. Sponsoring both of our tracks here.
How awesome is that?
I know, great people. But say goodbye to your untied skate laces. Derby Laces, stay tied tight and where you want them. Get yours at derbylaces.com. You can try the new Spark Metallic Skate Laces by Derby Laces. Super strong and super shiny. Again, get them at derbylaces.com.
All right, and it looks like we're in the midst of an OTO, an official timeout has been called. We'll try to get you an update shortly.
And we'd love to talk about our friends at the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin. Dr. Eric Feifel, along with Moshe, wishes you a safe brouhaha weekend. They are here for all of our injuries on and off the track. Contact them at theorthoinstitute.com.
So we apologize for the scoreboard issues, folks, and they just want to make sure that everything is up to date and current because, you know, while it is 50 on the board for Ohio, 106 for Minnesota, that's still not out of reach. They got to make sure every point is accounted for. And unfortunately, Minnesota is all too familiar how important it is to get an accurate score assessed.
It all matters.
And I feel nervous even saying that out loud.
They can't hear us.
They will hear us.
They will.
There's this thing called the archives. Or better yet, you know what you can do? You can support free streaming Derby. And how awesome is Hinckley Media that they're like, you know what, we love the game so much, we want to share it with everyone. So support Hinckley Media. You know, I've heard so many compliments. Down the street, people are having lunch. They're watching the game on TV right now. Support Hinckley Media and purchase some of the DVDs of your games, of their games, of your games that you're watching, of your teams and your sport by, what's that address we got there?
That is hinkleyproductions.com/brouhaha.
And, you know, they've been supporting Derby since 2008, and Allie and I are super biased about one thing, and that's Hinckley Media.
It's true.
Hinckley Productions is who I want at every event I'm calling at.
They started in Madison, and they are a great supporter of the Mad Rollin' Dolls in Madison.
And roller derby in general.
True,
you'll see
all
them
over.
At quite a few tournaments, and if you're wondering who should you work with as far as like your media production, work with Hinckley Productions.
And back on the track, we've started back out. Jacked Pipes, the only jammer in the Sakatumi Power Jam in favor of Minnesota, picks up lead jam as Diamond Ruff and the rest of Minnesota dragging back right through that pack, though, almost all the way through the Smacktivist.
Yeah, but they saved themselves from a track cut. Nice awareness. It would have been a bummer to go back-to-back for Smack.
It is true. And Jack Pipes going to be a big black block penalty being called on Jack Pipes.
Now, I hate to say this, her number is 3, and all 3 of us in the booth immediately did the back block dance. It's just one of those things. It's unfortunate. I think she had so much momentum, and she just had so much speed behind her. Sometimes you just lose it, and you clip somebody, and it goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
But, hey, good on Jack for getting right to the box immediately and not wasting any time sitting down so that her penalty time could start.
That's true. My pet peeve is when skaters just take their time.
My pet peeve is when skaters crash into refs in the outside pack. The OPRs, they're just doing their job, and skaters think, oh, no, this is my track. No, it's not, actually. You're the one that caused the penalty. You get out of the way of that official.
It's true. Smacktivist now in a Sakatumi Power Jam, battling against that Minnesota pack out on a 5-point. No, I apologize.
That's the initial pass, actually.
Initial pass. That is a tough one. And back on the track, that is Jacked Pipes.
Jack Pipes, wow, staying on her feet. Is she? Nope, she knows that she did go out into the ref lane.
Smart, smart.
Yeah, good, smart skating by the jammer in Aqua and Army.
And now back up in front of that pack, working against Minnesota. And we have a direction of gameplay being called on Amy Spears, going to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Minnesota doing a great job of holding back. We only have a few seconds left in this jam, a 2-minute jam, and it is hard for both jammers. And that's going to be a forearm assessed to number 8. That is
Smokahontas.
Yeah. So she's going to spend some time to think about what she's done in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Do you think she's going to be thinking about some table games or maybe some shows?
Or some luxury rooms that she could go stay in?
Perhaps some dining. Well, you know where you can find that all?
At Potawatomi Hotel and Casinos. That is Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination. And back on the track, we are going. That is number 2.
Valhalla.
And she is going up against Shiver Me Kimbers back on that notorious RED jam line. Minnesota down to 2 blockers in the pack, but they are able to spring Shiver Me Kimbers. She is lead jam, but quickly behind them, Valhalla is out.
That pack is going really fast at this point, and that's actually pretty smart by the Ohio RollerGirls. There's not a lot of time in the jam. There's not a lot of time left in the period. Keep that speed up as best you can. Protect your points. But the Minnesota RollerGirls are going to charge through. You still have to maintain your walls no matter how fast you're going, because as they start to crumble, look what happens.
Yeah.
Minnesota's D snuck through. So did the jammer. Didn't work out in their favor.
Those walls of defense, very, very powerful. Unfortunately, you get spread out, and Jammer's able to just weave through.
That's a forearm penalty. Valhalla tried to weave through, but she unfortunately did so with a bit of the forearm contact. So she will be sitting in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casinos penalty box.
And Shiver Me Kimber is being driven to the inside and recycled back by Ohio, doing a great job of killing this power jam. The Suck It To Me power jam. And both packs at full strength on the track. Minnesota's bench calling to Kimbers. Call it off after she picks up those points, and she does. That is going to be a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam for them. So Valhalla still in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. She is standing, so as we know, that is going to be less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, but unfortunately she had less than 10 seconds also on the period clock, so it looks like we're going to go to halftime.
A smart move for Minnesota. They're going to start out that second half in a power jam situation. Always a nice way, a little bit of control.
And, you know, that's a really great way to do it without actually calling a timeout or anything. Just kind of dilly-dally, take a little bit of time getting back onto the track, because technically you do have the full 30 seconds. So there's nothing saying that you have to hustle out there and get the jam started. And so it was a good, smart move by Minnesota saying, all right, we're going to have the advantage. You know, we have the opposition jammer in the box. Let's start out strong in the second half. So we're going to give you guys a little break here. We'll be back in about 7 minutes.
Excellent. See you then.
Okay, welcome back to the second half between Ohio RollerGirls and the Minnesota RollerGirls.
We had a pretty exciting first half. We're sitting at 120 for MNRG and 58 for Ohio. A little bit of penalty trouble.
A little bit of penalty trouble, but I think what I'm looking at over here is some of the jammer stats. While Ohio does have a much seemingly deeper bench, they're playing more of their jammers. Minnesota's being more effective by kind of staying with 3 core jammers. They have had 4 people jam in this period, in the first period rather, but the 3 core jammers are being so effective. When we look at the point totals, I mean, Fanny Tanner with 34, Shiver Me Kimbers with 36, Jacked Pipes with 48, and those are the 3 that they've heavily relied on. They also had Ida Soccer jam that one time, but you know that the 3 of them are so effective. Whereas Ohio is kind of spreading the love around, most heavily relying on the Smacktivist number 365. Yeah. They've had 26 points. Smack has picked up 26 points of those.
I think Ohio trying to test out to see if any of their jammers are having more success than others. So
yeah,
doing a little bit of testing there.
And that's not a bad strategy, especially when it's a team that maybe you haven't played against this roster. It's kind of good to like throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And if not, guess what? You can retool.
Yep.
There's a whole nother 30 minutes to play, and a lot of teams come back swinging in the second half.
So as a reminder, we're going to be starting this second half in a Sakatumi Power Jam in favor of Minnesota. The Ohio Jammer, number 2, that is Valhalla, is standing in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. A full contingent of blockers on the Ohio side, 3 blockers on the side of Minnesota on the track. We got 5 seconds before we start the second half. And that is Shiver Me Kimbers starting out the second half as she did in the first half.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. She's been very, very, very effective in this game. 36 points alone to Shiver Me Kimbers. She is out and declared the lead jammer.
Valhalla trying to tiptoe up that inside line, but Minnesota not having it. They are locking it down. That is D. Ruff. Second-hand smoke. And it looks like Gertrude Stein.
Shiver Me Kimbers out and around for 5 points. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Unfortunately, Valhalla, as soon as she was released from the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino's penalty box, she picked up a track cut, but boom, just as I say it, Shiver Me Kimbers, back block.
And that is going to make this a 2-minute jam as
well, not necessarily. Kimbers was waiting for a long time to sit down, to just kind of eat some time up.
Yeah. We have just around a minute left, so again, no one's lead jam. So we are both out there scoring points. We had a direction of gameplay that is going to be
Valhalla trying to do a star pass to her teammate.
And
Laura, out of my way, man, picked that out.
And she is stuck behind D. Ruff, still holding that star. And Kimber is out with a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam, coming back around for another. Around that outside, she gets past one, but they go out as well, so that is going to be a no pass, no penalty. She only picks up 3 points on that last pass. D. Ruff and big hit by Smoke a Hot Ass on the inside there, and Kimbers going back to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. So again, this is now a Sakatumi Power Jam in favor of Ohio. Only a few seconds left here. And Ohio able to pick up a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam on that last pass at just the last couple seconds there.
So that's 68 on the board for Ohio, 136 for the Minnesota RollerGirls.
So again, Minnesota, their jammer is in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, so they're going to be starting out in Power Jam in favor of the Ohio RollerGirls. Lining up on that notorious RED jam line is the Smacktivist. Smart choice for Ohio, as they are the high-scoring jammer for them. But Minnesota doing a great job of defense. Ohio playing a little bit of a big hit out on the corner.
Smacktivist staying in though. Does a little back skip on their back wheels. Gets lead jammer right there for the Ohio RollerGirls.
Minnesota lining up in that circle up front and rotating now to the end, dropping Smack. Got a whistle It might be from the other track, though.
And now Smack is trying to break through the pack, but I'm not sure if they realize that Shiver Me Kimbers is at the back of the pack. This is the 7th jam for each of these jammers. So they should be pretty used to skating against each other. Shiver Me Kimbers.
That is her initial pass.
Yep. Smack is trying to get around the pivot at the top of the pack. As Smack is calling it, Gertrude Stein just puts a big shoulder into the ribcage of Smack. Smack is still smiling, though, as they often do.
Yeah, because they picked up a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam on that last pass.
I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I just saw Smacktivist say, I want 100. They're at 73. They're getting close to breaking 100 points.
They can do it, yeah. Minnesota sitting at 136, Ohio 73 on the notorious RED jam line. That is going to be Fanny Tanner lining up against number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom. Neither are strangers to the Jam Star. And Kitty along the inside, and now trying out. That is Fanny Tanner up front, now battling against Ohio, getting strung out. And nope. I was going to say I thought a penalty was being called, but no, Fanny Tanner is your lead jammer for Minnesota. She's coming back around. Kitty Lickerbottom is still stuck in the front of that pack, hit from the inside. It's going to recycle her all the way to the back. That's courtesy of Mad Rad. And Fanny Tanner now back in, scoring points against a pack of 3 Ohio blockers.
Great job at the top of the pack, though, by the pivot. That is Laura Out of My Way, man. And I can't quite catch the number on that blocker. I believe that's 1101. That is Jessie Fox. That's right. Nice job slowing down Fanny Tanner.
Star pass now in progress and completed on the side of Ohio. That has been passed off to Laura Out of My Way, man. She is still stuck in the pack, though, holding the star. So completed. She's the inactive jammer, but not the active jammer until she puts that star on her helmet. But she is just playing an extra blocking role, helping out, and now she'll take a little step forward, try to get out. But secondhand smoke having none of that, recycling her all the way back to the jam line.
To that notorious RED jam line. They just love that stuff. Can't get enough of smelling clean.
Yeah. Hopefully, no playing dirty. You know.
Well, things just got a little weird right there on the track, but good awareness. Low block on Jessie Fox.
She's going to go to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. As Laura Wayman still trying to push up that apex between turn 1 and 2. Fanny Tanner out. That is going to be a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
The jam expired at its natural conclusion. I think I'm looking at the scoreboard. Still a pretty close game between the two, 73 to 146. A lot can happen in these 23 minutes.
That's true. 23
plus minutes. But Minnesota definitely is running the jams a little bit longer, kind of stretching them out, getting them a little thin, slowing things down.
Yeah, definitely if they can get those multiple passes, they're relying on that defense in the pack, trying to get those multiple passes, rounding up the score. On that notorious RED jam line, we have a number 727, Gertrude Stein.
Yeah, this is actually her first jam of the game that she's wearing the star. She's facing off against Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker. Sass gets forced to the outside, now stuck on the hips of Diamond Ruff. Diamond Ruff recycles up to the front of the pack. Sass is being forced to the outside by the pivot. That's Yekaterina Lipitsky. Minnesota just kind of like doing a big hug with each other, keeping the jammer Sass back. Gertrude Stein is out and about for 5 points. 5 more on the board for Minnesota.
And Gertrude back around. That is going to be another 5-point Rydell Skate Grand Slam as Texas Sass Kicker, Chainsaw Sass Kicker, still stuck in the pack against that brutal Minnesota defense.
I mean, just look at number 40 and number 1837. Sampson to your left and D-Ruff to your right. That's a world of hurt that you don't ever want to find yourself in.
I say no thank you.
Yeah, I say good day.
A little bit of a pile-up in back, but that, again, is going to be Gertrude Stein for another 5-point Grand Slam. Again, what we were just saying before this started, relying on their defense in the pack, trying to get those multiple passes, those natural grand slams, as they're sometimes referred to, though you'd think any grand slam would be naturally occurring.
Well, it looks like it's coming pretty naturally to Gertrude Stein right there, although great defense by the Ohio RollerGirls blocking crew.
And Ohio, as that happens, dropping and recycling back Gertrude Stein all the way to turn 3. And that jam called off.
73 on the board for Ohio, 161 for Minnesota. So now they're itching slowly. Minnesota is starting to widen that gap. We're almost at a 100-point difference, but we're still under that mark, which I feel like that once you pass up that 100-point difference, that's when it starts to be, okay, how much time do we have left? Is this still obtainable?
Yeah.
But really, when it's less than 100 points and you still have more than 20 minutes, it is very doable. You just have to be smart with your clock management. You have to be smart with, staying out of the penalty box.
Yeah, you got to create power jams for your jammer.
Exactly.
Heavy D.
When you have that magic combination of lead jammer status, low penalty box trips, and clock management, that's really how a team that's down cannot be out. They could still win this game. They could still climb back.
Yeah, again, you get to that 100-point mark, that becomes a little more insurmountable, and it's just how much can we tick away at that
Exactly.
That point. How much can we
close
put
the gap?
on?
But look at how tight and close the Ohio RollerGirls pack is right now on that notorious RED jammer line.
Snuggles.
While we have lots of snuggles. We have an official timeout.
And that official timeout is going to be brought to you by our friends at Notorious RED. The smell clean even if you play dirty. You can get it here at Brouhaha at the Derby for All booth or order it online at notoriousred.com. And we are starting out this next Sakatumi Power Jam in favor of Ohio, the Smacktivist, holding that star on their helmet, naturally holding it. And they are just in the middle. Ohio trying to play a little bit of offense, but now switching to D in back and just letting Smack do the work up front. And work she does, picking up lead jam status for Ohio.
And now Gertrude Stein still, she is in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, holding the star in her hand, not on her helmet.
Again, that sneakies.
Trying to be sneaks.
Minnesota dropping Smack all the way to the turn 1. Gertrude still working up front, holding that star, and around on turn 3, out on her initial pass. Mac picking up points. She hears the call from her bench, and she does. She gets 3 points.
Yeah, Smacktivist holding up the big 3 points that they needed to help their team out with. We're going to watch that Ohio RollerGirls score slowly tick up. 19 minutes and 53 seconds left. 76 on the board for Ohio, 165 for Minnesota.
And Ohio starting this next jam full strength on the track. They have the back line, flat wall. Minnesota has a pack 3-1. One blocker in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Now, we haven't seen Jack Pipes yet in the second half. She had a great first half. She picked up 48 points in the first half alone for her team. So it's good to see her back in the rotation for them. But she's facing off against Laura Out of My Way, man.
Great spinning in the pack and around the outside, picking up lead jam for Minnesota as Ohio drops back to try to play some offense. But unfortunately, Minnesota dragging the Ohio jammer all the way back and then reforming into that circular wall there. And jacked pipes out for a 5-point Rydell Skates grand slam. Star pass has happened to the pivot. Big rig out of play penalty called on 40 Sampson for engaging her out of the engagement zone. No, bad times. And that jam is called. We have, looks like 4 points. Yes.
Don't forget, folks, that if you want to check in on how the stats are running, you know, we're throwing some stats at you, and we try to do the best that we can to make them as accurately as we can. But you can go to stats.madrollandolls, and I believe it's a live document, so it might be a slight delay because we do have to get that information to you. But if you want to find any of the stats for this weekend, if you want to see how your stats were looking, Allie, because you had a great game in the last game, FYI.
Thanks.
I know because I was just announcing it. You can go to stats.madrollandolls.com.
Back on the track, Valhalla, number 2 for Ohio, jamming, but lead jam going to secondhand smoke. First time with the jammer star.
Yeah, she did receive the star once in the first period, but this is the first time that Smoke is starting out as the jammer.
Secondhand smoke, no stranger to the jam star, but definitely a little more comfortable in the pack as a blocker, it seems, during this. A big hit at the front, but knocking down that Ohio blocker. She is out on a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Well, and, you know, it's not even so much always that a player is more comfortable or less comfortable in the pack. It's just that they're so valuable.
Yeah.
And somebody like Smoke that's so versatile, she is doing great wearing the star. She's already on her second pass. She's already picked up her second Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
And it looks like Valhalla looking to pass that star. It's been taken off their helmet. Unfortunately, her pivot was not able to get up front. And no, looks like she did. Oh, there is a tumble. Not able to see.
Yekaterina Lipitsky forces that pivot, trying to receive the star into the infield. All of Ohio Roller Girls is pushing on to secondhand smoke, trying to take her into the infield with them.
And now the star for Ohio is in possession of Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker, but she again is been driven to the infield and recycled back by Gertrude Stein. Another hit out by Sampson on the corner of turn 1 and 2, recycling her back. Secondhand smoke around for another scoring pass.
Yeah, they give the star to Chainsaw, so she's now going to try to make her way past that road.
And Smoke going back and forth, trying those lines. Dropped by number 10.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of the games that I've been covering have been, you know, reaching mid-20s of jams. The first half, Minnesota, Ohio only made it to the 16th jam. They're really running the jams out.
Yeah.
Right now, we're already about halfway through the second period. We're only on the 7th jam going into the 8th.
Yeah.
Lots of time in each one of these jams. I mean,
Minnesota running up, trying to run up that score, trying to wear out Ohio.
I mean, clock management is crucial.
We had some whistles. We have a timeout being called in favor of the Ohio bench. That timeout is going to be brought to you by our friends at, let's say, Derby Laces.
Oh, yeah, let's say Derby Laces. They sponsored both tracks here, and they have Spark, the new metallic laces.
Ooh, and Derby
Something
Laces.
like 50 colors, right?
They have available in 25
25
different
colors.
colors.
I'm dreaming of the future when they will come out with day glow, neon, glow in the dark.
Make some requests. Derby Laces, they tie you up, but they never tie you down. You can get them at derbylaces.com. So Ohio using this team timeout, chatting a little bit with their players on the track, chatting in the infield with the referees. Over number 12 on the track, Kitty Lickerbottom on the notorious RED jam line.
And about ready to join her on the notorious RED jam line is number 2, Fanny Tanner. I hear it's her anniversary this weekend. Yeah.
Happy Tanniversary.
Tanniversary. It's her wedding anniversary this weekend. It's a man Tanner. Congrats to the Tanners and their Tanniversary.
Oh, it's so great.
I just have to give a little love when it's due.
It's true. Full strength in the pack on both sides. Fanny Tanner in the back, going back and forth. Kitty Lickerbottom up front, just driving, trying to find some light up front. We have a multiplayer block going to Mad Rad on the side of Minnesota, sending them to the notorious the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. But that is going to be lead jam going to Fanny Tanner of Minnesota.
Kitty Lickerbottom has the you can't say 3 wall, but that like triangle, that classic slice formation, if you will, that pizza slice formation. But she does burst through eventually, hot on the trails of Fanny Tanner, who picked up another 5 points. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
And Fanny Tanner still moving up there, but decides to call it off before Minnesota is able to pick up any points on that last jam. That is going to bring our score to Ohio 76, Minnesota 198. Just under 15 minutes left to go in the second half. So the Smacktivist taking the line, the notorious RED jam line. And it looks like we have Shiver Me Kimbers with the star.
We haven't seen Shiver jam since the first jam. She did go to the box, so she started the second jam. But it's been a few jams since Shiver's been out there, which is pretty surprising considering how effective she was in the first half. I'm not sure if because she's already on 3, but that's not very many times.
And successful she is in the second try. She has lead jam for Minnesota. Smacktivist still in the pack on her initial pass.
Well, Smacktivist is also on her 5th jam that she's wearing the star.
And Kimber is out on a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Smacktivist trying to bump around the outside. She does get caught up. Gets sucked back in by Polly Punchkin. Polly Punchkin doing a great job keeping her back. Smacktivist, yep, we're going to be calling a track on them. That is a track cut for the Ohio RollerGirls Smacktivist.
And that's another track cut being called on their blocker. Ooh, nope, I apologize. And a flash. So Ohio losing their jammer and one of their blockers to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Minnesota at full strength. And a big screen from the inside.
Big screen from the inside, indeed. Big screen from the audience. The Aqua Army is here. Minnesota Nice is very excited. The greatest mascot in roller derby, in my opinion.
Oh, man. I mean, I love all the mascots. Great times. And Minnesota
there's
Nice.
Fantastic. But Minnesota Nice looks like a true blue mascot.
Really representing the state and the lakes.
Exactly, and being so great.
Smack around that outside, but ooh, a big hit by Secondhand Smoke takes them both out. Mad Rad, though, and Gertrude Stein recycling back as far as possible. Smack right in the inside middle there.
Shiver Me Kimber saving herself from a track cut, facing off against that wall of white Ohio blockers. Hellion Boy, Enya Flash, Jesse Fox, and Laura Out of My Way Man taking down Shiver Me Kimbers. I believe that was Enya Flash with that last huge hit that made Shivers decide to call the jam.
That's true. Kimbers picking up 3 points on that last pass, 0 for Ohio. So Minnesota now 226, Ohio 76.
Not quite sure what they're singing, but the fans from Minnesota are starting a little Minnesota song. They were dancing up in the balconies.
I do love the Aquaman Army. They always make.
Yeah, they're part of the new WFTDA ad campaign. It's amazing. Amazing. Because, you know, it's really, the fans are the reason why we do this. Otherwise, we would just have closed games. We would just have scrimmages against each other. And we do have a lead jammer right there that is Jacked Pipes, back wearing the Jam Star.
Picking that up on one skate around the turn, one. And Sampson driving out Kitty Lickerbottom on the apex. Still on her initial pass. And that is going to be an out-of-play penalty, possibly going to Captain Diamond Ruff. And that is going to be another penalty going to 99, Cloverkill. A star stash looks like happening. Oh, no, and now the star pass has been completed to number 10. Not number 10. Sorry about that. That was 815, Big Rig. She was the receiver of that
the pivot,
pass.
Big Rig, yes. Well, she did jam in the first half, so that's the thing, you know, when roller derby, flat track roller derby first started out, the pivot had a very, very, very different role.
So in charge of everything.
Yeah, it's the pack boss. And then, you know, then we kind of realized, wait a minute, there's nothing in the rule set that says that the pivot has to be in charge or has to even stay in the front. All it says is that you can receive penalties if a captain is not on the track to assess, to receive them. You can stand on that pivot line that is, you know,
so much power.
Yes, so much power. You get a toe stop on the line. And then you can receive the star. And those are the 3 things it can do. So in modern flat track roller derby, current roller derby, definitely want to make sure somebody can receive the star that's wearing the stripe. We have a lead jammer. That is Lauren Out of My Way Man jamming against Gertrude Stein.
So it may have looked to some people like number 10, Laura On My Way Man, may have picked up a penalty, but she did not. It was a no pass, no penalty, since she had already passed that blocker. She just did not receive lead jam that went to Gertrude Stein. Yeah, she's able to sneak in. No points on either side.
Thank you for that correction. I incorrectly said Laura Out of My Way Man. I do apologize, my friend. They were on that neck and neck and didn't realize there was that no pass, no penalty call.
So, lining up on the notorious RED jam line, we have Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker going up again against Shiver Me Kimbers from MNRG. So many whistles. Not sure if it's us, but Sass Kicker gonna go for it. Oh, and a track cut being pulled by Secondhand Smoke as she drops back. So, Sock It To Me Power Jam now in favor of Minnesota and Shiver Me Kimbers.
Yeah, Shiver Me Kimbers is picking up lead jammer once again. It's really unfortunate. Sass Kicker was doing everything she could, but that penalty was just drawn by a very smart individual, that Secondhand Smoke.
That's true.
So Sass will be sitting in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box as Kimbers picked up another Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
And Minnesota losing a blocker to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. And the Ohio Jammer has been released from there. They are back in. This is going to be their initial pass. Quickly through on that initial pass. Not really touched at all. Minnesota now down to 2 blockers. And Ohio down to 3 on their own side. Called off. Shiver Me Kimbers able to pick up 5 more points on that last pass, shutting out Ohio. Again, our friends at Hinckley Productions. They have been a friend to Derby since 2008, providing live video production services and bringing you this very live broadcast of Brouhaha 2015. Support free streaming Derby with your DVD purchases at hinckleyproductions.com/Brouhaha. On that notorious RED jam line, number 2, Fanny Tanner, again against the Smactivist of Ohio. Again, if you're not aware, the Minnesota RollerGirls in the aqua and army, Ohio in the white with the green accents. Both jammers in back, but Fanny Tanner delivering the Smactivist to her blockers as she's able to slip through, pick up a lead jam. And Gertrude Stein putting a hurt on there, but Smactivist able to slice through on their initial pass. Fanny Tanner meeting that with her own little slice through the Ohio blockers, picking up 4 points for Minnesota. We have around 7 minutes left to go in this last half. Minnesota sitting at 2:53, Ohio 76. Minnesota definitely taking advantage again, running these jams, putting on the points, able to hold Ohio. Very low scoring second half for them.
It seems as though a timeout is being taken by the Ohio RollerGirls bench. They do have 1 timeout left still in the half, and they also have 1 official review that, you know, it's not as fun to be as sneaky when you're coaching. You just go, hey, guess what? I'm using this as a timeout.
Yeah. But, you know, smart, though.
Although, yeah, I'm not denying that. Sorry about that. I just personally don't like that. That's just a blatant thing. The element of surprise is fun, and, you know, letting a team know that you feel weak enough that you need to use that review as a timeout, I mean, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
As a coach, it's really fun to get to manipulate that official review to just be a timeout without anybody knowing that it's a timeout. I miss that.
Sneakiness.
Yeah.
Not as much sneakiness in Derby.
Sometimes you got a snake.
So back on that notorious RED jam line, that is number 9, Secondhand Smoke. Even in a crouched position, she's going to be going up against number 10, Laura Out of My Way Man.
You know, again, this is Smoke's only her 2nd jam donning the star. She did receive it once in the first half, but she has been so effective.
Yeah, she was able to pick up 16 points on that first, and now she picks up, a back block penalty. So it's going to send her to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, and it's going to be a Sock It To Me power jam in favor of Ohio. Let's see if they are able to take advantage of that offense streaming up that inside line. No pack call for a moment, but Minnesota able to reform and hold her up front. Sampson and Madrad doing some great defense, recycling her all the way back to turn 3. Ohio trying to hold back, but Minnesota able to swarm and reform up front, forcing the call off on Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, great work by the two rear blockers, the Pivot and Diamond Ruff from Minnesota. They stayed within, the 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet. You kind of stretch it out a bit. Ohio did also a nice job of staying at that apex right in the turn to kind of stretch that pack out and force that out of play call. But the two front blockers from Minnesota were just railing on the jammer, Laura Out of My Way, man. Eventually, she just ran out of a little bit of gas and had to call the jam. But I know she's going to chill out, grab a sip of water, get back on the track, and there's going to be more action for her, I'm sure.
So Smacktivist taking the Notorious R.E.D. jam line and this Sock It To Me Power Jam in favor of Ohio. They have received lead jam status.
And that Smacktivist has picked up 4 of those lead jam statuses in the second half. I believe the only other person that has was Laura Out of My Way, man.
Secondhand smoke out of the penalty box, already out on her initial pass. Smack trying to just swing her way around on one skate, but gets driven out, calls it off, and she unfortunately does not pick up any.
2 points.
So as much as they tried, Smack couldn't not pick up any points. I don't believe, the Minnesota RollerGirls could not pick up any of those points because Smacktivist called the jam.
Number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom, lining up next to Shiver Me Kimbers on the Notorious R.E.D. jam line. Both trying the outside line and then swinging to the in. Kimbers pushing up first. Great defense in back by Shiver Me Kimbers, by Gertrude Stein. But Kimbers, again, recycled back, but able to sneak up that inside line, picking up the lead jam from Minnesota.
Yeah, not looking like she's gassed at all. She's got plenty of juice left in the tank, even though this is her 10th time jamming for Minnesota.
Kitty has removed the jammer star. Looks like she was attempting a star pass or stash, but she is again recycled back by Gertrude Stein. Little bit of jammer on jammer action there, but Kimbers kind of shrugs that off. Now up against the defense in white. With that wall of Aqua and Army, that kind of circular rotating wall.
Yeah, I've heard it called an amoeba formation, if you will, but that nice, strong circle chain, that unbreaking ring.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get through that, but once you do, it almost is, the defense usually will just crumble. Minnesota is so strong, they just recycle the ring.
Ooh, big hit. Not quite sure what's going on, but Kimbers calling it off. No penalties called on that. Kimbers, it's like the refs are going to talk about it. We're going to see. Maybe they're going to talk about points or possible penalties being assessed. We'll see. We'll wait.
We have just about 3 minutes left in this game. 78 on the board for Ohio, 263 for Minnesota. When we look at the board, I mean, Smacktivist has been out there quite a bit, so that's understandable that they might have a few more penalties than others. When you play as often as they do, 5 penalties on the board is not surprising, especially when you don the jammer star a lot. Cuts getting forced left and right.
It's true, though. It looks like 5 penalties on either side, though, is the most that anyone has. And
nobody's really in danger, yeah, and it's really even across the board.
Yeah, we do only have 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second half, so you're sitting at 5 right now. Yeah, you're right.
And it looks like we do have an official review, courtesy of the Ohio RollerGirls.
Using that official review. Probably going to be talking about that hit there on the corner. Bunch of people going down. Ref's going to huddle to the middle while they are doing that. We can talk about our friends over at the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Play all day and stay all night at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination, a luxury hotel. You can book a room with gaming, entertainment, or dining. Play, stay, or get lucky at Potawatomi.
We also want to say thank you so much to folks like Derby Laces for sponsoring both these tracks and for bringing your fabulous product here to Midwest Brouhaha 2015. We also want to give a very special shout out to the lady behind Turnaround Skates. She is rocking it over on Derby Laces track 1. Right now I see a really nice line actually formed up. There's a bunch of people that want to talk to her because she does such great work. She will give you a tool, like a tune-up of your skates, give you all the insight and info that she has an awesome assortment of the Nutcase helmets. Those
Doing
are great.
Wheel regrooving on site.
Making custom reversible jerseys. That's one of my favorite tools that I bring with to every trip, except for I get so dumb that I give it away every time. I trade jerseys with people.
Man, so if you see Val Capone, you go rub some shoulders and she's going to give you her
Seriously,
jersey.
I have lost so many outfits over the last 11 years.
You got to have
funny.
Got to have something to trade for it, though. So we're just figuring out here what happened from that official review. Val?
So on that last little kerfuffle, if you will, in between turns 3 and 4, it seemed as though an Ohio blocker and a skater from Minnesota got a little crazy and zany. Ohio was looking for a misconduct call. No call was made, so guess what? No call stands.
And they lose their official review, though. But again, at this point, 2.5 minutes left.
Right.
They're out of their official reviews. They're out of timeouts. So Fanny Tanner up front, battling against one left. That is in a flash, but Fanny Tanner is going to be your lead jammer for Minnesota. Star pass quickly on the apex there, handed off to the pivot. That is Laura Wayman. Takes off a few hits, but she is out on her initial pass.
Started off as a Big Rig was jamming, handed it off to Wayman. Again, a great example of when you're fielding a pivot, make sure that pivot can run it through and you know, can be the jammer part due.
Yeah, and you're seeing that definitely happening within roller derby a lot within the last 6 months to a year, that helmet cover stash, the helmet cover pass to prevent multiple passes from the team that has that lead jammer status, to pressure them into calling it off.
Well, we have 78 on the board for Ohio, 269 for Minnesota RollerGirls. We have 1 minute and 34 seconds left. Gertrude Stein is going to be wearing that star for the Minnesota RollerGirls, and the Smacktivist will be donning the cap once again for the Ohio RollerGirls.
Gertrude Stein, one skate along that straightaway, picking up lead jam status for Minnesota. Smacktivist out on their initial as well. Gertrude out the outside there, calling it off. And unfortunately, Smacktivist not able to pick up any points. 3 for Minnesota.
You know, they really tried to grab those points, but I got to say, as soon as Smack came back to the bench, they were just talking to one of their teammates about, you got this, helmet to helmet, star to star, letting their teammate know that, you know what, you can do this, Cloverkill. And this is Cloverkill's first jam of the game. So great pep talk from Smacktivist to one of their teammates.
Yep, they're going to be going up against Shiver Me Kimbers on the notorious RED jam line. Both packs at full strength to start out this possibly last jam of the bout. Kimbers pushing up that inside line within a pack of white. And we're going to be getting a forearm call on the Ohio jammer.
Yeah, that's
Cloverkill.
unfortunate for Cloverkill. This was her first jam wearing the star tonight. Got the nice pep talk from her teammate, and still a forearm is going to be taking her to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
So Kimber is hopefully taking advantage of this socket to me power jam. The period clock has expired. The jam clock still ticking down, so at any point she can call it off. And the game will be over. Looks like she is going to be trying for another pass.
And at this point, I think, you know, she's just trying to pad that point total. But also, if we look to the stats currently, Shiver Me Kimbers, above and beyond, has been the most effective jammer tonight. She is in triple digits scoring range. That's insane.
Very, very
That
impressive.
just made my whole body hurt looking at that.
Ooh, big hit. We have a forearm going to Kimbers. So that's unfortunately one of the risks when you try to run up that clock on that last jam and you have lead jam status. You know, you commit a penalty, you're no longer in control of that last jam. And one skate, Cloverkill on that outside, clear to the in. She's out on her initial pass.
And the entire OHRG bench is standing up, cheering for their teammates.
And it's like we do have a skater down on turn 3. She's pulled herself off the track. And they're being attended to by the medics. But the jam is still going on, again, to its natural conclusion as it ticks down. And Cloverkill picking up a forearm penalty again. And there in Kimber's right after her, a back block, sending them both back to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino Power Jam.
And just like that, the jam ended.
That was interesting. We're
Yeah.
going to wait here. We're going to wait on the official final.
Oh, I love that Smack said, "That's my baby," and smooched their teammate on the helmet.
No.
Just giving a little bit of props.
So again, we're going to wait for the official notice from the referees that is it.
You know, it's always unfortunate when a jam has to end like that. It was kind of on a high note. We had a new jammer for the evening. Everything was going great. Kimbers was breaking records for herself right there with 118 points in one game.
So
what?
impressive.
What? Did that just happen?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have a skater that went down. That I believe that's Kitty Lickerbottom. She's being attended to by the medics on staff as well as her coach. So no worry, folks. Hopefully, we'll have a great update for you about her. But yeah, I mean, this is the end of the game, and you hate to see it end like that, but it was a great game to watch. It was nice to see Ohio take on the Minnesota RollerGirls, and it was just, as a Midwestern Derby player for the last 11 years, these are two teams that I have loved personally so much, so it was great to do this call with you, Allie.
Nice to do it with you as well, Miss Val Capone.
Thank you so much to all our sponsors. Thank you to Hinckley Productions, of course. Thank you unbelievably so much to the Brew City Bruisers for putting on one of the best parties in roller derby all year. It's a great tournament where we all get to come here and show off the strengths and all the strategies and off skates training that's paid off. You know, you can see how it all works out over the course of the year. But this is the 6th annual Midwestern Brouhaha, and if you're following along at home, please share your photos of your viewing parties. Share your photos of your friends that you're enjoying the games with, and hashtag them. Hashtag. That's this thing. Hashtag. I thought that was a number sign and then a pound sign. Now it's a hashtag.
Cultural evolution.
Yeah, I don't evolve. I'm an ape. Brouhaha 2015. Hashtag Brouhaha 2015.
So coming up next on the track 2, we have the
Allie,
Derby
what
Lace.
do we got?
Track 2, we have the BCB All-Stars versus Treasure Valley. And then after that, again, on this very same Derby Laces track 2, we have Gotham taking on Tampa Bay.
Oh, those are two games I'm actually really excited about. So, cool. I know that's weird for me to be excited about roller derby.
Hey.
But once again, we just want to say thank you to the folks at Hinckley for everything that you've done for us always since 2008, all your support of roller derby. We really appreciate it. We're still waiting to get the final official, but since all teams have left the track, I'm going to guess that was the official final. Hey, thank you. It's like the scoreboard read my mind. 80 for Ohio and 284 for the Minnesota RollerGirls. So congratulations to Minnesota on a strong finish. And my name is Val Capone.
I'm Allie Gator.
And we'll be seeing you soon.
See you later.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the R-Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft-top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral. There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple. All you need to do is just peel the Velcro off and then install the new insert. The heel is another area of customization. You can use the included purple heel lift to elevate the heel in the boot, which can reduce heel slippage, irritation, or shin splints. Or you can use the included green heel wedge. It's angled, so depending on the way you install it, it can help correct pronation or supination issues. This metatarsal pad can be installed on the top side of the footbed to help reduce numbness in the toe and ball area of the foot. Getting the proper fit is really simple. What you'll need to do is take your existing insole out of your skates. Then all you need to do is line the two up on top of each other and trace and trim to fit. The R-Fit footbed kit is available now at any of our authorized retailers. And for more information, you can always visit our website at www.roller.rydellskates.com.
Come celebrate summer with the Dairyland Dolls, Saturday, June 20th and Saturday, July 11th at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. Doors at 5, action at 6. But wait, there's more. The Dairyland Dolls will be shaking things up with a special outdoor exhibition bout on Saturday, June 27th during the Festival Food Shake the Lake celebration at the Monona Terrace. Event opens at 5, Derby at 6. Come for Derby, stay for fireworks. Find the Derby in you. MadRollandDolls.com.
Turnaround Skates is proud to support the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. We are a Derby-owned roller skate shop in Buffalo, New York. Our focus is providing our customers with innovative and quality skates, parts, and protective gear from all the top manufacturers. Our customers represent a variety of skating styles and backgrounds. Our boutique shopping experience focuses on finding the right skates and gear for you. We also add a bit of style with our fun accessories and clothing. Visit us in Buffalo or online at turnaroundskates.com.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our R-Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the R-Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral. There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple. All you need to do is just peel the Velcro off and then install the new insert. The heel is another area of customization. You can use the included purple heel lift to elevate the heel in the boot, which can reduce heel slippage, irritation, or shin splints. Or you can use the included green heel wedge. It's angled, so depending on the way you install it, it can help correct pronation or supination issues. This metatarsal pad can be installed on the top side of the footbed to help reduce numbness in the toe and ball area of the foot. Getting the proper fit is really simple. What you'll need to do is take your existing insole out of your skates. Then all you need to do is line the two up on top of each other and trace and trim to fit. The R-Fit footbed kit is available now at any of our authorized retailers. And for more information, you can always visit our website at www.roller.rydellskates.com.
Come celebrate summer with the Dairyland Dolls, Saturday, June 20th and Saturday, July 11th at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. Doors at 5, action at 6. But wait, there's more. The Dairyland Dolls will be shaking things up with a special outdoor exhibition bout on Saturday, June 27th during the Festival Food Shake the Lake celebration at the Monona Terrace. Event opens at 5, derby at 6. Come for derby, stay for fireworks. Find the derby in you. MadRollandDolls.com.
Turnaround Skates is proud to support the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. We are a Derby-owned roller skate shop in Buffalo, New York. Our focus is providing our customers with innovative and quality skates, parts, and protective gear from all the top manufacturers. Our customers represent a variety of skating styles and backgrounds. Our boutique shopping experience focuses on finding the right skates and gear for you. We also add a bit of style with our fun accessories and clothing. Visit us in Buffalo or online at turnaroundskates.com.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our R-Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the R-Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral. There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple.